Good afternoon, everyone, especially to you, sir. I am Sheila Jane M. Padilla. I am one of the reporter of the Chapter 4, Lesson 2, Information Economics. Before we discuss about information economics, let us first read the objective of this lesson. By the end of this lesson, learners should be able to define information economics, discuss how information economics helps understand online platform success, and evaluate information economics role in protecting privacy and data. We also have here an activity which is the word scramble challenge. You are going to unscramble the words below as fast as you can, and the first person to unscramble all the words correctly wins a prize. After that, you're also going to answer the analysis, which you have to answer the questions below regarding the word scramble challenge activity. And now let us proceed to information economics. So what is information economics? So moingon tag information economics or the economics of information, it is the branch of microeconomics that studies how information and information systems affect an economy and economic decisions. So one application considers information embodied in certain types of commodities that are expensive to produce but cheap to reproduce. Examples include computer software, pharmaceuticals, and technical books. So, why is it expensive to produce but cheap to reproduce? It is because once information is recorded on paper, in a computer, or on a compact disk, it can be reproduced and used by a second person essentially for free. So, for example, imagine you are writing a book. So, it takes a lot of time, effort, and maybe money to write that book. So, that's the expensive to produce part. But once it's written, making copies of the book is really easy and cheap, especially if ebook siya. So that's the cheap to reproduce part. Also, information economics is formally related to game theory, as two different types of games that may apply, including games with perfect information, complete information, and incomplete information. So in economics, perfect information, sometimes referred to as no-hidden information, is a feature of perfect competition. So with perfect information in market, tanan consumers and producers is nasa like complete and instantaneous knowledge of all market prices, their own utility, and own cost functions. Chess is an example of a game with perfect information. It is because each player can see all the pieces on the board at all times. Other games with perfect information include tic-tac-toe, reverse checkers, and Go. Mayroon po complete information, it is an economic situation or game in which knowledge about other market participants or players is available to all participants. So it is a concept that each player in the game is aware of the sequence, strategies, and payoffs throughout gameplay. So given this information, ang mga players is nasa ability to plan accordingly based sa information to maximize their own strategies and utility at the end of the game. So a typical example is the prisoner's dilemma. So ang kaning prisoner's dilemma is a game theory thought experiment involving two rational agents. So each of whom can either cooperate for mutual benefit or betray their partner for individual gain. So ang dilemma ani mo arise siya from the fact that while defecting is rational for each agent, cooperation yields a higher payoff for each. So in a game with incomplete information naman, ang mga players is wala sila nag-possess of full information about sa ilang opponents. So some players possess private information, a fact that the others should take into account when forming expectations about how those players will behave. So, an example of game theory in practice would be if two potential employers are going for the same promotion at work and are conversing with their employer about the job. However, one employee may have more information about what the role would entail than the other, whilst the less informed employee may be willing to accept a lower pay rise for the new job. The other may have more knowledge on what the role's hours and commitment would take and would expect a higher pay. This is a clear use of incomplete information. Proceed tayo sa information asymmetry. So, unsa dahil ni siyang information asymmetry? So, kung mayroon tag information asymmetry, it is a cornerstone concept in information economics. It essentially refers to situations where one party in an economic transaction possesses more or better information than the other. So expecting the other side to have better information can lead to a change in behavior. Ang less informed party may try to prevent the other from taking advantage of him. Ang kaning change in behavior may cause inefficiency. Examples of this problem are selection, adverse or advantageous, and moral hazard. So, ang adverse selection is mo-occur siya when one side of the partnership has information and the other does not. And this can occur deliberately or by accident due to poor communication. So, a classic paper on adverse selection is George Akerlof's The Market for Lemons. And the most common example of the lemons market is in the automobile industry. So as suggested by Akerlof, na ay four car types that a buyer could consider. This includes choosing either a new or used car and choosing a good or bad car, or lemon as it is more commonly known. So when considering the market options, na ay possibility of purchasing a new lemon car as there is a used good car. The uncertainty that arises from the probability of purchasing a lemon due to asymmetric information can cause the buyer to have doubts about the car's quality and inherent outcome when purchased. So this same dilemma exists in a multitude of markets where sellers have an incentive to not disclose information about their product if it is poor quality due to knowledge that the average standard across the industry from good products is existing will boost their selling power. So the asymmetrical information known about the car's quality can lead to a breakdown in the automobile industry's overall efficiency. So this is due to two reasons. Firstly, uncertainty between the buyers and sellers, and secondly, in the broader market where only sellers with below average vehicles will be willing to sell due to the reduced quality being represented. And naalay two primary solutions for adverse selection, which is the signaling and screening. So let us first discuss the first solution, which is the signaling. So, si Michael Spence ang originally nag-propose aning idea of signaling. So, gipropose niya nga in a situation daw with information asymmetry, it is possible for people to signal their type, thus credibly transferring information to the other party and resolving the asymmetry. So, the second solution is the screening. So, si Joseph E. Stiglitz ang nag-pioneered aning theory of screening. So, in this way, the underinformed party can induce the other party to reveal their information. So, they can provide a menu of choices in such a way that the optimal choice of the other party depends on their private information. So, by making a particular choice, the other party reveals that he has information that makes the choice optimal. So, for example, an amusement park wants to sell more expensive tickets to customers who value their time more and money more than other customers. Asking customers their willingness to pay will not work. Everyone will claim to have low willingness to pay. But the park can offer a menu of priority and regular tickets, where priority allows skipping the line at rides and is more expensive. So this will induce the customers with a higher value of time to buy the priority ticket and thereby reveal their types. So let us proceed to the second problem, which is the moral hazard. So moral hazard, it includes a partnership between a principal and agent, and of course, when the agent may change their behavior or actions after a contract has been finalized, which can cause adverse consequences for the principal. So ang moral hazard is present siya when there is a change in the agent's behavior after taking out insurance cover to protect them. So for example, if someone purchased car insurance for their vehicle and afterwards held their responsibility to a lower standard by going over the speed limit, for example, or generally driving recklessly. So muna siya ang moral hazard. Now, the question is, why information economics matters? So, information economics matters because it plays a significant role in decision-making processes. It also helps identify such issues and can guide the development of policies or mechanisms to mitigate the problems such as warranties, certifications, or regulations to improve information flow and reduce asymmetry. It also offers insights into the role of digital platforms and networks, where information goods are created, shared, and consumed. Aside from that, information economics really matters because we live in a world where information is everywhere and drives so much of what we do. So think about buying something online, choosing a doctor, or even just deciding what news to believe. So information economics help us understand how information affects these choices and the markets where they happen. It shows us why things like online reviews, advertising, and even fake news can change how we act. It also explains why some companies have a lot of power because they control important information. So, by studying information economics, we can learn how to make better decisions, build fair markets, and understand how information shapes our society. Basically, it helps us navigate a world where information is a powerful and valuable resources. And that's all about my topic of this lesson. The continuation of this topic will be discussed by Michael Linugan. Thank you.